Have you ever stopped to reflect deeply on one of the most disturbing questions of all time? From which country or region will the Antichrist arise? This question is not merely an insignificant theological speculation. It has echoed through the halls of history like a disturbing whisper spanning generations. From the most ancient times, when humanity still sought to understand its role before the divine, to the present day, in the midst of the technological age, this mysterious figure has provoked fear, curiosity, and endless theories. Philosophers, religious leaders, scholars of prophecy, and even politicians and secular thinkers have attempted to decipher his enigma. Some saw it as a metaphor for human evil, others as a literal and imminent prophecy. But behind every human supposition stands a more solid truth. The Holy Scriptures already offer us consistent and revealing clues about the profile, origins, and circumstances that will surround its manifestation. The Antichrist is not presented by the Bible as a mere myth, nor as a vague metaphor, but as a real flesh and blood leader who will emerge in human history. He will gather in his hands political, economic, and religious power on a global scale. Imagine a ruler capable of controlling markets, establishing global laws, dictating what can and cannot be purchased, and at the same time influencing consciences through religion and culture. He will be the master of deception, capable of seduce crowds, manipulate governments, move armies, and reconfigure international alliances. Your objective will be clear and stated: exalt himself above everything that is called God and lead humanity to the climax of spiritual rebellion, just before Christ's glorious return. Consider for a moment the devastating impact of a leadership that combines irresistible charisma, strategic cunning, technological mastery, and deceptive spiritual support. This will be the end-time scenario, a stage set for the greatest spiritual battle in history. Subscribe to the channel right now and leave your like so this message reaches even more lives. The prophets and apostles have described him in different forms and symbols, as if various pieces of a prophetic puzzle were revealed over the centuries. The prophet Daniel, for example, speaks of a little horn that arises among 10 kingdoms, signaling the unexpected rise of a leader who seemed insignificant but who will become the most powerful of all. The Apostle Paul calls him the man of sin, the son of perdition, highlighting his character of absolute rebellion and his thirst for power. The Apostle John, in Revelation, identifies him as the beast who is given authority to rule over every tribe, people, language, and nation, revealing that his influence will be truly universal. It's as if each prophecy were a lens magnifying one aspect of the same character. Daniel reveals his political cunning, Paul reveals his sinful essence, and John exposes his global tyranny. This set of descriptions leads us to an inevitable and disturbing question. Where will the Antichrist come from? Will it emerge from the military and technological might of the United States, now seen as a powerhouse that influences nearly the entire planet? Or from the historical and cultural cradle of Europe, the same continent that gave rise to the Roman Empire and still retains vestiges of its former glory? Perhaps it will spring from the religious fervor and eternal conflicts of the Middle East, where humanity's greatest spiritual and political tensions are concentrated. Or, as some scholars believe, it may even spring from within Israel, initially deceiving the Jewish people themselves, who have been waiting for centuries for a Messiah. These are not idle speculations. They are questions that resonate at the heart of biblical eschatology and that need to be analyzed seriously and discerningly in the light of eternal prophecies. And that's exactly what we'll do here. I invite you to join me on this spiritual and historical journey. This isn't just intellectual research, it's an invitation to spiritual discernment. Let's explore the ancient pages of the Bible together, observe the geopolitical context of today's world, understand how historical events connect to prophecies, and perceive how these pieces fit together toward a common destiny. We are not talking about fiction, but about a real future that may be closer than we imagine. And if this future is approaching, it is urgent that we awaken our faith, strengthen our communion with Christ, and be prepared. Share this video with your friends and family. Many people need to hear this message before it is too late. Throughout church history, Theologians, pastors, and scholars have advanced numerous hypotheses about the origin of the Antichrist. Some have associated him with historical figures like Nero, Hitler, or other tyrants who partly embodied the anti-Christian spirit. Others have seen the rise of empires and revolutions as the shadow of this final ruler. But three theories in particular have gained traction and are still discussed today by serious scholars of Scripture. The hypothesis that the Antichrist will arise from Europe as part of a revived version of the Roman Empire. This idea is based on prophecies in Daniel and Revelation that point to 10 kingdoms that will unite again, from which the little horn will emerge. Many see the European Union or similar alliances as a harbinger of this scenario. The theory that he will come from the Middle East, possibly with Islamic roots, but still linked to the Roman legacy, since the Roman Empire also extended over this region. This theory gains traction because the Middle East is the central stage of biblical history and of the greatest religious and political tensions today. The astonishing idea that he may be born from Israel's own lineage, specifically from the tribe of Dan, a tribe marked since ancient times by idolatry and rebellion. This vision is based on biblical clues and the prophetic silence regarding this tribe in certain passages of Revelation.